Oh, hello again. I wasn't going to make a video about this because it's a ham rig, but then I went looking on YouTube and there's only one other video, and it doesn't really explain very much about what the radio does, and it doesn't work correctly. So we'll go with this. This is an Icom IC-290A, as you can see. It's a 2-meter all-mode transceiver, and it was made around 1981. Now, when these came out, there were a lot of people like myself who had been CBers in the 70s, and we were getting our ham licenses and moving on up. Well, we worked on AM and we worked on sideband, but on 2 meters, FM was the prevalent mode because of the popularity of repeaters. But in order to push the sales, Icom came out with these all-mode radios, and Kenwood had them, and so did Yaesu, that feature upper sideband, lower sideband, and Morse code. This one puts out 1 watt on low power and 10 watts on high. They made a 290H later that was 25 watts output. And there's 5 memories. And it has a whole bunch of features. You can recognize the noise blanker. There's a fast and slow automatic gain control for sideband. Your mode switch, your duplex, simplex switch. The offset rate, that enables you to use a non-standard repeater. On 2 meters, the normal repeater offset was 600 kilohertz down, except for the 147 band where it was 600 kilohertz up. And but there were some repeaters that were a 1 megahertz split, and this enables you to access those. It has dual VFOs. That's your AB switch. 1 kilohertz is basically a fine tune with the fine tuner knob. I'll show you that in a couple minutes. RIT is what we call a clarifier on CB set. There's your squelch and your power output low. Push button for the RIT or the clarifier. Scan start, priority, memory rate. And a call button, which really doesn't do anything here in the States except throws out a carrier for a couple of seconds. Okay, now the biggest fault with these radios, they are first generation microprocessor radios. So as a result, there's no backup for the memory. You can see it's scanning downwards. I must have pushed the SS button. The radio will continue to scan in 5 kilohertz chunks until it gets all the way down to the bottom, then it starts back over again. Now when it gets down to the bottom here, down to 144,200, I'm going to stop it. Because that's the sideband calling frequency. Now, 2 meter sideband might have been a popular mode a long time ago, but I've listened here for a week and I haven't heard anything except one local guy here that's calling people and, calling CQ, and nobody's answering them. And, like I said, the biggest problem with this, okay, see what frequency we're on now? If I turn it off, then turn off the power supply. We'll let that drop down. Okay, turn it back on. Let's see what happens. It resets to 6.010, which is 146.010. So every time you take the power off of this, you have to reprogram it. It takes the memories out, takes everything else out. So basically you have to reprogram the stupid thing every time you use it. See if there's anybody on here.
I didn't really know it was a pizza shop. That's something else. Might go ahead and try. So, but anyway, thanks for your comment there. Any more comments for the nut tonight? Call KC3FME.
So it's not a bad little radio. It has a lot of features, and you can find one for a good price. You can use an amplifier with it, and probably the biggest knock, other than the inability to retain memories, is the fact that there's no provisions for a continuous CT CSS system. You have to mount an auxiliary board from ComSpec and program it up. So anyway, I hope that this video helps to explain in a little bit more detail one of the all-mode radios of the early 1980s. Before these, there were really no mobile all-mode radios. And if you wanted to use 2-meter sideband at home, you had to buy a device called a transverter to work with your HF transceiver. And that was another bulky piece of equipment that just made the shack that much bigger. Okay, well, so much for the Icom IC-290A. I hope that this helps explain it. And good DX.